I'm Ryan, this is Kim,
Hi.
and today I'm going to show you how to make some pasta. Alright, so we're going to make a really simple pasta recipe. This one, instead of doing just flour, egg, and water, we're going to actually cut in some olive oil, and just, well, it's extra virgin. To me, it just gives it a little bit more of a flavor. It's not as light, it sits a little bit heavier. We like it. So let's begin. Okay, so we're going to use a KitchenAid for this, and rather simple. This is going to actually be able to feed probably like 6 to 8 people, depending on how much you want. So we're going to start with a couple cups of flour. We're going to do 3.5 to be exact, if you are counting. You are going to be changing up how much flour you're using though. The flour and the water, it's always a little bit more of a variable, but you're going to be starting with the 3.5. And it's going to go in from there, so. Now, I always take a little bit of extra flour and I set it on the side, because you're going to need to flour up your workstation where you're laying all the dough out. You're probably also going to need to re-flour a little bit for your dough later on. So just grab a little bit, throw it on there. You're good to go, you can move the flour. So next, we're going to use some extra virgin olive oil. You want about 1/4 cup for this. However much you want to put in, that's up to you. The more virgin oil you're going to put in, the less water you're going to put in. And you're really not using that much of either. So put in about 1/4 cup. So a little bit extra. Alright. Now we're done with the oil. Put that aside. Put that in the simple wash later. Salt is up to you. You don't have to use a lot of salt. You can use a lot of salt. It's up to you. I do a little bit of a pinch. I don't really have an exact measurement for you. Just kind of have a couple shakes. You're good. Now for the eggs, I do 5, but the 5th one, I only do the yolk. So the rest of it, throw out. So, what I'm doing right now is I covered the island, which is going to be our working area, with some flour. And I'm just kind of spreading the flour out. This isn't so much of a need for right now, but once we get the dough done and it's all needed, we're going to want to just drop it right on here. We're not going to want to worry about handling the dough and also dropping down. I do want to make a note too that if you do hear a dog, we are inside the house. The dog is here, so he might be eating at some point, playing with a bone or whatever, doing his own thing. So, we're going to grab our bowl with all of our stuff in it. We're going to go to our mixer. We are using a KitchenAid for all of this. Whatever you're using, it's fine. It's not going to make too much of a difference. All it's doing is blending for us. Mixing it all up. Alright, so we're going to put on just the normal beating attachment. So there's just the one that's just going to mix it all together, like if you're making cake, cupcakes, brownies, mashed potatoes, whatever. All we're looking to do right now is just mix everything up. We're not looking to actually knead the dough. So we're going to turn it on. Get our little cover just in case we flour. We're going to set it up to 3. Now, I use a little spray bottle for water. You only want a little bit. We're going to turn it down to 2. Get a little bit of water in there. Ideally, you're going to use about 2 tablespoons for the amount of flour that we're making. For the 3.5, you are using about 1 pound of flour, so if you're looking to go out and buy ingredients, it's about what you want. Alright, so you want to let it mix up until everything is all clumped together. You no longer see any of the flour, the egg, any of that stuff. Once we have that, we can shut it off. Alright, so before we knead the dough, and after the mixture is blended all together, for this, you don't want the dough to be too sticky. If you can take the dough, pinch it, you don't really want any residue left on your fingers. And when you get to that, you know that it's about as moist as it needs to be. So again, the amount of water and flour that you're going to put in here, if it's too sticky, add some flour. If it's too dry, you're going to add a little bit of water. You don't want to add a lot of water, a lot of flour at the same time. So once we have this, we're going to add in for our little kneading tool. If you don't have this, you're going to have to knead by hand. If you're kneading by hand, it's going to take you about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on your pro level for this. going to grab this guy, put it back on. Now when you do this, you're going to want to take it, kind of put it into a ball itself. Makes it a little bit easier for the hook to grab it all. Raise it up. And I put it on level 2 and let it knead for you. Alright, so we've had this kneading now for about 6 or 7 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and just take it out. And so just kind of want to squeeze it between our fingers and everything. And really, again, the main thing is, as I'm squeezing this, when it's coming off, I'm not getting any of the dough on my hand. And that's about when you know that's a pretty good feeling. So when you're doing this, you kind of want it to feel like not too sticky. It's not dry. It's nice and moist. Kind of feels like what lavender would in between your fingers. So now we have that. Again, since we dusted this already for us with the nice flour, we're going to grab just a little bit, take it off, drop it down, and we're going to do that a couple different times. So you're going to want to make as many balls as you can. I usually do about a fist. Twist it off. Put it down. Alright, so now that we have that, I'm going to really push into this, knead it out. Alright guys, now we really want to get these nice and smooth. So you'll see, like when I pick this guy up, it's not really retracting, it's not going back to a ball form. That's when you know that you're doing it pretty good. You're just about done for the kneading. And we're getting this nice and small and slim and smooth because when we throw it through the pasta roll attachment for the KitchenAid, we don't want it to jam up. And if it jams up, it's going to start tearing your dough. It's not a fun time. You're going to keep going back. You might get a little frustrated. So let's just knead it out. Now we have this. We're going to take these guys, we're going to start running them through the roller. So now for your roller, easy. Alright, now for your roller, you're going to start it out on the 1 setting, we're going to gradually go up. So obviously the lower the number, the thicker your pasta is going to be. So if like we were making ravioli, we'd probably do like a 4 or 5. Because we're doing spaghetti, we're probably going to take it to about a 5. If we were doing fettuccine, we would do about a 2 or a 3. And now when you're doing this, you're only going to set it up to stage 2 for your mixer. You don't want to go any faster than that. Any faster, you might rip your dough. It's going to be coming through a little bit too fast. It's not really what we want for this consistency. Feed it through. Now on level 1, when it comes through, you actually want to take it, it comes through, fold it in half again, and then send it through after that. And you're going to keep doing this until your dough eventually gets thicker, but it's also going to go from edge to edge of your roller. Alright, so this guy's going edge to edge for us. So there we go, we got our first little bit of pasta rolled out. Put some more flour on there, and we'll come back to that in just a bit. Alright guys, so now that we have each of these done at the level 1 setting of thickness, we're going to start sending it through on a level 2. Now every time you do this, it is going to get a little bit thicker depending on the size of your strands that are coming out. This guy is going to get to be about the length of the counter by the time we're finished. So you may need to start cutting it, but we don't have to yet. When it starts to get a little overbearable, that's when we'll start cutting it down. And for this guy, over on the edge here, we got a little tiny little arm. Then you fold that one back over. So next time it goes through, it'll be one nice big old piece without any arms sticking out. Alright, so we're going to change this little dial setting one here. Take it over to number 2. And we're just going to let it roll on through.
So now we're going to start boiling some water for the pasta. I'm just going to turn this on high to get it boiling rather quickly. Going to add a little bit of oil to the water just so the pasta doesn't stick together. About a tablespoon or 2 will do. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of salt. Just a couple sprinkles. And that's it. And then we just wait for it to come to a boil, add the pasta, and we should be good to go.
So, as you can see, we had to cut the pasta a couple times. So we have a lot more lines than the original 4 or 5. I can't remember however many we started with. So now that we have that, we took it to a level 5 for the smoothness. We're going to take off the pasta roller. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to put down our normal one for our spaghetti cutter. We're going to put this on. And now, Kim already put on the water for us. So we're going to have our water boiling soon so we can throw this in. We also have our drying rack off to the side. That'll be right on over here. This way we can hang the spaghetti when it's done. And we don't have to worry about it sticking together. So we're just going to grab a line. We're going to bring it on over. Turn this back on to a level 2 again, just like we've been doing. And we're going to feed it through. You're going to have a couple pieces that just kind of fall off. But look at that. Some nice, fresh spaghetti. So we're going to go through with the rest of it. We're going to cut it all out. And again, we're going to take this and just put it on our nice little pasta hanger that we have here. That way when the water starts boiling, we can start cooking. Now, our pasta on there, we're trying to spread it out a little bit, because if it stays too close, you're going to get stuck together, and then you're setting through a nice big old clump of pasta. And it's kind of disheartening when you make a bunch of pasta and then you have it all clumped.
Alright, so now we're at the point our water's boiling. We've already thrown some pasta in. We're going to keep adding until we have all of our pasta in the boiling water. Once it's in there, we'll probably leave it in anywhere from 3 to 7 minutes. Thank you. Just enough so it's cooked and very tender. So unlike boxed pasta, fresh pasta is going to cook a lot faster, so you just want to make sure you're kind of on top of the pot and watching so you know when it's done.
Alright, so now that we have our spaghetti cooked, we drained it out, and we've got ourselves a pound of pasta inside of that jar. That's how you make spaghetti. Homemade, tastes delicious. Thank you for watching.